Stephen Harper says farewell. I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. It's official. Stephen Harper has resigned as an MP. The sixth longest serving Prime Minister of Canada made that announcement official with a video posted to various social media sites.
Today I wish to inform you that I'm stepping down as the Member of Parliament for Calgary Heritage. For a total of nearly 18 years, I've had the tremendous honour of representing Calgary in the Parliament of Canada. On 7 occasions, I've been deeply humbled by your trust and support time and again. And I leave elected office proud of what our team accomplished together.
Harper not only took time to thank his constituents and Canadians across the country, but also list off many of his accomplishments.
We united all Conservatives behind our agenda. We cut taxes, made critical investments, and balanced the national budget. We got tough on crime and put families first. We managed our G7 economy through the worst global recession since the Great Depression and came out in the strongest position of them all. We took principled decisions in a complex and dangerous world. And whether at home or abroad, we were always proud to stand up for Canada.
That's just a portion of Harper's accomplishments. Of course, critics on the left are going to continue to howl that this man was ever Prime Minister, and they're going to continue talking about taking their country back. Critics on the right will continue to say Stephen Harper didn't do enough, that he spent too much, and these are criticisms that I have made myself. But today it's important to remember that this is a man who did accomplish much, that did much more than any of us thought he could more than a decade ago. Remember, Stephen Harper came back to Ottawa after many years away to take leadership of the Canadian Alliance. Then he convinced the Progressive Conservatives to merge parties and became leader of the first merged party. He did all this at a time when Paul Martin, the Liberal leader, was supposed to win the biggest majority government in Canadian history. He was the juggernaut. After 3 strong majorities by Jean Chrétien, Paul Martin was supposed to win even bigger. Didn't happen. Stephen Harper, when the Conservatives were able to reduce him to a minority in the 2004 election. In the 05-06 election, which all the pundits told me when I arrived on Parliament Hill as a full-time reporter, all the pundits told me Stephen Harper would never be Prime Minister, and the Liberals were going to win that election as well. They had a grand plan, except they didn't, and they failed miserably. The Conservatives won. And then that minority government, that first minority that was supposed to last 6 months, lasted more than 2 years. That in itself was an impressive accomplishment, but Stephen Harper went on to govern for almost 10 years, 9 years, 271 days, the 6th longest serving Prime Minister in Canadian history. If he'd stayed in just a few months longer, he would have surpassed Jean Chrétien. That speaks to success. Canadians put their trust in him time and again, and he earned that trust. He convinced them that he was the right man at the time. Eventually, that luck wore out, and it wore out last October. But Stephen Harper will be remembered fondly by historians, I think. I've had the chance to meet him up close and personal many times, including more than 8 interviews, I believe it is, and many pictures over that time. I can tell you that this is a man who, despite that question that stumped him at the beginning of the 05-06 campaign, I think just puzzled him, this was a man that truly did love his country and tried to do the best for it. I think that's what he will be remembered for, that and his foreign policy experience. For a man that hadn't traveled widely before taking office, that ended up being one of his strongest assets. Standing tall for Canada. Having Canada, well, not just go along to get along any longer, not just wanting to sound like we were good Boy Scouts, but actually standing for something. That, ladies and gentlemen, is something that Canadians can and should be proud of. But as for how Stephen Harper will be remembered, yes, that will be up to the historians. But today, I say we remember him fondly and wish him well in the future.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.